on, Creative Thinkers? Cook here, and we have another episode of Creatively Speaking. I have my co-host with me, Ligg, to the right.
It's me. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another amazing episode. I'm so happy to be here.
We back again. J-Law here, checking in for Creatively Speaking.
Hey, gang, it's been a nice little minute. You know, we had the pod out for a bit, but before we get into all that, how have you been, Ligg? Start with you.
I've been good. I've been out here in these influencer streets, vibing. As you know, like the holiday season is coming, so the influencers are busy. I did a partnership with the National Harbor. They invited some influencers out to get the vibes of different restaurants and see what's going on in that area. So yeah. It's good times.
That makes my brain just go.
What you got for me?
Spill a little tea for me if you can. When you get those like opportunities, is that something that you reach out to them for, or do they contact you?
For the most part, they contact me. And I would say if you are interested in opportunities like that, put your email in your bio. Make it super easy for them to reach out to you. And when I think about it, like the few times I've ever reached out and tried to do a partnership, it never works. So,
Got you. That's lit.
You know?
Hey, man, what about you, Law? What's been your moves?
So I took a little trip, a little friend's trip. Went to Arizona, to Scottsdale.
Oh, nice.
And I've never been to Arizona, like stayed in Arizona. I stopped there for the Grand Canyon before, but it was literally for like 2 hours.
That's something I want to do, the Grand Canyon. Was it cool?
Yeah, it's really like that. But this trip was like a whole reset for me, like in my creative space. So went to Scottsdale, went to Sedona, got on a hot air balloon. I'm not a daredevil at all, so me doing stuff like that was definitely different. But it was beautiful, man. I want to go back already. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, it was really
Your
like
vlog
that.
was so dope. Just like the scenery alone was just amazing. And then you were dropping gems for the creatives, doing it all. So
That's the new journey now. I gotta share the gems.
Hey, man, and the YouTube's been consistent. I ain't gonna lie. Like you been.
When we in the gym, we in the gym.
You
When
see
we
them
in the
clips.
gym, we in the gym.
Hey, nah, love it. I got my travel on a little bit. I did a quick trip to Atlanta to check on a friend, and then went to New York for actual Steph from Team Yellow. She had a Bright Sparks at the Louis Vuitton store.
And she did what now? She was where?
She had a conversation at the Louis
With
Vuitton
who?
store with Pharrell Williams.
With Pharrell Williams.
So I got to sit in on that, and let me tell you something.
Did you shake Pharrell's hand?
I did get a pic with Pharrell.
That's
like,
crazy. And he has not dropped this on the gram, y'all.
I have not. And I did get Pharrell's. So I started a new thing. Like when I go to events and I talk to people, I actually get them to like give me an autograph on like a card or a piece of paper, like just to signify we had this moment in time together. So Pharrell was one of the people that signed it. So
it's crazy because I saw on your story you was in Atlanta. And then I saw you were at an event with Pharrell there, but I didn't know it was in New York.
You really didn't know the movement.
Yeah,
you didn't see
like,
the transaction.
Come on, man.
No, I mean, first off,
crazy.
God is good. But more importantly, it's really dope. Like what they've done with Bright Sparks. Like not Pharrell, but Steph just went to the UK as well and hosted another one.
Wow.
Like that being his division for education is like really. They're taking off, so
got you.
Had a good amount of time. So life's
facts.
been good. But with that said, let's get to it, creative family. So today's topic. Now, this is something that if anybody reaches out to us, they always try to figure out like how do you network and collaborate. Like, one, what's the difference between the two? I guess between networking and collaborating. Is there?
Now, I knew you was gonna ask some questions, but I did not know you was gonna ask that question. What's
I
the
did
difference between
that very
networking and
moment.
collaborating?
Let's change it.
Let's.
Honestly,
I think it's a fair question though.
Yeah,
because networking doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to collaborate and actually like do something together. But when I think about networking, it's like, okay, I'm about to not use you, but see what connections I can get from you. And collaborating is more so let's do something together.
It's the next level.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I think networking definitely is just like building relationships, planting seeds in general. Like you gotta. It's a numbers game, especially when you are trying to grow your network, like in terms of outreach, but collaboration is intentional.
And I think it's one of those things where networking in this day and age, it got to be genuine too. Like you can just tell if somebody's just trying, like you said, look to use you, or it's a one-way street. Like people need to learn to just connect with people for what it is. And then when something comes up, okay, I've met you, we chalked it up, we had a meeting. But a lot of times people, I feel like, just going for the kill. You know what I mean? I want this from you. I see you doing this. That's not networking. That's
trying to get what you got.
Yeah,
right.
That's asking me for a favor.
I mean, we talk about like the panels that we sit at and check out. Like as soon as those conversations wrap up, it's like a beeline to the stage, and like,
man.
you know what I mean? It gets to the point where you networking can easily become transactional before it becomes collaborative.
Exactly.
You know, and when it gets to that transactional sense, it's hard to build relationships. Like, you know, it's hard to take anything further.
I think that you can network with anybody, but you can't collaborate with everybody.
And I think a lot of people got to remember, they always look to network up. You know, I want to reach out to this person because I see him doing that. But I think Issa Rae said it, like, network like
across.
For
sure.
It's more genuine, and you can really, like, accomplish more when you're doing it with your peers because it's on the same level. You know, the benefits are best between those two people. And I even think of, like, me and Cook's story, like,
Cooking everybody's story.
No,
keep
for
it
real.
keep
Like,
it a buck.
He pulled up on us at an art show, introduced themselves, and it was cool. Like, we just connected. And then opportunities come up. He wanted, you know, work with us, and then he had something going on, pull up on him. Like, it's just natural. And, like, I know the intentions were pure, and I think people need to go into things like that even more.
I agree.
It makes a big difference for sure.
Yo, as we're sitting here, I really did start to think like, yo, there are plays to networking. Like, it's a skill, but it's also like a trial and error for anyone. Because to your point, sometimes you just genuinely gotta show love. Like, networking isn't always like, what can I get out of this moment? It's like, yo, I see you got this going on. I've been wanting to connect with you. I like what you got going on. Or as simple as, I've had people who network in the DMs, like, just every time I got something going on, love what you're doing, keep going. That's networking.
Just
like,
supporting.
Yeah, support is really networking, you know. And being able to do that as a creative is also how you can get inspired by your peers along the way to figure it out. Because a lot of the showing up for you guys was loving what you were doing as a team.
Exactly.
You know, and even with Kadeja, like, what she was doing, like, I got plugged into her through another person. It was like, hey,
Let me tell you something about this man sitting right here beside me. I would not be doing what I'm not to get sentimental, but I would not be doing what I'm doing without Cook.
That says a lot.
That
says a lot. I'm being nosy. Can you expand on that?
Yeah. So my first social media client was because Cook introduced me.
That's crazy.
And told me, like, oh, this is like, oh, she could do this. I didn't even think about doing event content creation until Cook put me in position with Keisha with ProCon to actually record something. And I'm like, it opened up a whole new world for me.
Right.
So sometimes I think networking could put a different lens on, different perspective on what you're doing, and like put you in positions that you never would have thought of, you know?
For sure.
Yo, and you mentioned that, like, I just think of how that whole thing came about, because sometimes it's knowing when you need to get out the way and let someone else take the run. You know, because like it was hit up to me at the time, like this at the time, and shout out to Keisha and ProCon, friend of the show.
Come on,
you know,
man.
At the time, I was helping with creative direction, and she had passes to an event, and one of the passes was for me.
Oh, we getting into Broccoli City?
Yeah, like the first time. Just like, because I think that was the first. Yeah,
I get it confused. The timeline is a little crazy. Go ahead.
Well, this is one that sticks out to me in terms of like one, networking, and building relationships. It was like, you know, one of the passes was easily for me to be a part of the team and go. But I was like, if we only got one, I think you need to bring this person in, because her being there is way more valuable than me just being in the room and being a part of it. What she can do, what she's capable of doing.
And what did I do when I got in there?
Numbers. Cook. Let her cook. Let her cook. Nah, I mean, and that's just one example. Like, it is really, when you go out and you're doing something, you know when to get out the way and when someone else needs to shine.
That's a skill, though.
It is, but that's also how you.
And it takes a certain type of person to do that too. Like, it's more of a skill, but it's more of a character trait. Because some people in this world, especially when it's in that entrepreneurial space, is like, I need to get everything that come my way.
Yeah, and I don't even think we're not even talking about networking now. We're talking about, is it leadership? Is it, I don't know what it is, self-awareness?
Yeah.
I think it goes into collaboration in a sense in the mind, because like at the end of the day, like, it is still a reflection. Like, my connecting someone else is still a reflection of what I believe they can do in collaborative sense, right?
No,
like,
facts.
And you gotta be able to trust somebody. And like I said, since day one, K-Ligg's executed.
Been that
Yeah,
girl.
come on now. Speak for itself.
But then you got a law story on the other side where, again, relationships, and I guess this whole creatively speaking builds through.
Yeah, I was about to
the
say. I thought
synergy.
that's what you were gonna talk about.
Like clearly we talking the journey, right? Because like laws was 100%. This was, I want to say 2018, like 2018 time period.
That sound about right.
And I was just so happened to two things. Damn, you talk about me not taking up the mic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my G.
Sorry, audience.
Real quick catch up. Right. Go ahead and skip 30 seconds ahead to get ahead of this. But no, two things. One, it was very much me being consistent with following my own creative path and trying to find my way, because I was trying to still be a creative and create for the community. We had the event called The Launch, which was the artist development mixer, where visual music artists show work anonymously, and people got to vote on it.
Wow.
I
We
was
need to bring that
doing,
back. That sounds
I
nice.
was doing that, and I hosted it at Homemade in Baltimore. That was my very first one. And shout outs to AIM Society who did the studio, because they captured the recap video for this. So like
That was before Kadeja.
this is all pre-Ligg.
Yeah,
And then so we do that. I have that event. I'm talking to the actual waitress behind the bar about what we're doing, and she's like, "Oh, you need to catch up with this creative group in the area called Creatively Mindful. They have this event called A Reason to Dress Up, where local visual artists get to show their work and people get styled and fly for the night." And she was promoting that it had coming up, so I was like, "Bet, you know what?" Connected me, one of the founders told me about the event, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go see what it's about." And literally just pulled up and yo, the energy. Creatively Mindful is probably my inspiration of like when I tweeted the other day, CTLN is my TDE.
Yeah.
They're their own TDE in their own sense, where you got Ash, you got Rod, you got Law. Day one people building out something in their craft going. But I say all that to say collaboration or stepping aside and just supporting people is the best way to get in with anyone that you're trying to grow with. And seeing what they need, because we all need something in this creative space. Like, shit's hard. Like, if we want to get to it, people are always trying to put a dollar mark on a interaction before you can even collaborate. And then you're like, yo, I don't even know if this could really go somewhere. Or you undervalue what something could be because you just made it a
monetary exchange.
transaction.
Yeah.
Like, how have you guys found some wins in networking yourselves, though? That was like my story. And again, if you're back after 30 seconds, welcome back.
Let's tap back in
welcome
right
back,
here.
30 seconds.
I definitely, what I got from your story is speaking up about what you do too, because how did that waitress behind the bar know about what y'all had going on? And I think it's about being proud of what you do. And I think like when people say, oh, I don't know how to network, you have to speak up and say, this is what I do, this is how I can benefit somebody else. I think that's another key that I found in this game, in this creative game. It's like you have to fill a void that somebody is, that you notice. Not always that monetary, this is how much it costs to work with me. It's like, oh, I see how to elevate what you already have going on. Exactly. This is how I can show up in that space. So yeah.
And it's kind of like finding that feeling and that timing of, is this a person that I feel like I can work with as well? Because networking is, I feel like, it's a feel game. Like, I don't know how you move.
Don't
and
you
like,
hate when it's like, I should have known I shouldn't have been with y'all. Like,
all right, no. But how often do you try it, right? Like, you gotta try to get. Yeah,
you do have to try to actually know. Like, all right, I should have trusted my gut. Exactly. This ain't gonna work, but here I am, wasted 6 hours of my life.
Exactly, and I think that kind of opens the next question in terms of like collaborate after you get through the networking and you're comfortable with that person on the working basis and supporting each other.
The invoices were paid.
Exactly. You feel me? Like, it's a good relationship. When do you ask, like, is it time to collaborate? Is it a gut feeling? Is it one of those type things where it's no right answer? What you think?
Me?
Yeah, before we skip another 30.
Yeah, right. I think that I kind of just put it out there. Okay. If I think of something that, I would love to work with this particular person on this particular project, I'll throw it out there and see how they feel. Because I've been on the other side of it where, no, I don't want to tell you no because of the relationship. But I also know, like, people have different capacities in different seasons. Right. So maybe if they do want to say no, maybe they're like, okay, maybe not right now. Maybe they don't bite. But I think organically it'll work out.
Gotcha.
If it's like a genuine collaboration.
No, I feel that.
Nah, I like that. So I think this is where the rapper in me kicks in. Because like I think of it like it's a feature for a record where it's like, yo, you ask somebody for a feature, like, you know what, I think you would sound like what you bring to the table will work with this, right? And so I typically do if I see someone working in something that's in a similar space to me, and it's like, yo, you know what? Hey, I have this going, and I think you can fill the gap here. Like, knowing what the solution is, and also knowing what I'm offering them in turn. Now we're talking about not just collaboration. We're talking about partnerships.
Yeah.
We're talking about brand sponsorships and what that can look like from that tier, because that is the elevation of what just collaboration is. It's looking at a brand or a client or a person at their field and saying, hey, this is a solution that I can solve for you, and I think you can help me with this. So what does it look like to partner? What does it look like to work together on this? But in the basis of creating something from scratch, like CTLN Network, creatively speaking, where we have people. And by the way, we didn't even do the right drops because we ain't even shout out behind the camera. We got Lou behind the camera.
Sure.
We got Mac behind the audio.
Shouts.
We out here,
Yes,
so
collaborating, networking.
collaborating, right? We got Rube at home on the design. We got Dez at home on the design.
Man.
You know, collaboration at its finest is actually happening right now. So tap in with the team first and foremost. But, you know, beyond even just what those things look like, it is really knowing how can someone best show up and be their best self, and what can you get out of them when they're their best self without asking too much.
There we go. Without asking too much.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also from like intrinsically speaking, don't be afraid to say no, because you got to see what not the benefit, but does it make sense for you and your brand as well? Because just because you're collaborating, just because you want to help somebody, doesn't mean that's the best professional move for you. And I find myself, I like to help people. So I find myself, people ask me a favor, I'm always going to help them. But sometimes when it's on that front street collaboration, it's like, I don't know, like you working, you on your way, but it might not align with me at this point in time. So you got to know how to say no. And
how do you say that? It's not like you don't want to be associated, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to be associated.
I mean, you know,
get your chili up.
Yeah. I got my sayings. For me, it's, you know, it's just not in my wheelhouse to be working right now.
Okay.
It doesn't align with what I'm working on and things of that nature.
So whenever y'all hear him say that,
I just gave up the sauce.
He gonna get a reply back. I know you didn't.
He bullshitting you right now.
He gonna get mad emails after this pod.
I thought
He said that to me.
Hella screenshots.
That's crazy. J-Law don't want to fuck with you.
Nah, but you, I think that's what you gotta do. Like, I think the reality is you get your squad and y'all elevate together. Because at some point, yes, somebody who's coming up who's inspired would want to work with you, and you have more brand leverage or more to lose at that, and you have to take that in consideration with the work that you put in. And so, you know,
and the quality.
I start to see why you get those Jay-Z, Beyonce tiers, right? Where it's like no one's in their circle, because after a certain point, you standing next to someone adds value to what they may have going on.
Facts.
And now you're endorsing something that you couldn't even properly vet.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole nother thing.
That's a bar right there. That's a bar right there.
We're talking about people who are standing on, like, got a whole page dissing something that you might be an advocate for. And now you're losing deals. You're losing out on opportunities. So it's not to be shady. I think it is to be properly aligned. And if you're someone who has networked up, what I typically do is, you know what? Look, how can I add value to what you got without getting anything out of it?
Yeah, facts.
Like, you know, prove myself to the space that, you know, if you get me close with you and trust me with this, I can prove that I'm on the same type time you on. And I think when you're in a position of, say, less in the collaboration, you got to really look, what am I bringing to the table for this person?
And be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it could go either way, right? Like, you could absolutely kill something, or you'd be like, I am not the one.
Out of my league.
I am not him. Like, you know what I mean? And you gotta own that. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to try, but I think you have to properly find the best case scenarios to, I guess, experiment with. Like, try out. Like, hey, it's safe here.
Yeah.
Nah, facts.
Yeah. I do want to, like, our last couple seconds on this conversation, like, talk about the beauty of collaboration and how much you can get done in a group setting. Like, for me, it's even more so just accountability. Accountability. Like, I feel like I can lean on people to say, okay, this is the part that I can execute, and you can execute this part, and then we can take it across the finish line together.
I mean, I think you're looking at it. Go ahead, Law.
Yeah, I was gonna say it just plays a big part of like teamwork when you have somebody else, counting on you, and then you're counting on somebody. It's like reciprocal, and it kind of reminds me of like when you're at a job and it's like, oh, y'all doing everything in this project. Who wants to be the one that lets it down?
Like that's fuck everything.
Yeah, you looking crazy. Like you at the meet and then you didn't meet your expectations because of you. So I think it's kind of like that fake guilty conscience that you don't want to let the team down, but it's also that encouragement that other people can give you as well.
And there's something to be said about being in the trenches with somebody or an idea. Like you really take when you can take ownership of something and a new idea, you really feel like, yo, this could be something more. And I think one thing that actually is funny, because this is actually a good transition to our next topic.
Is it? I wonder what it is.
I promise, right? Because I 100% think oh shit, I lost my thought now.
Sorry. Don't blame Kadasia.
No. But essentially what I was going to say is one thing you can do to help with the consistency, like we do Wednesday calls at 7:00. Like we know that's a time that no matter what, this is like be consistent somewhere when you're trying to collaborate and grow out a team, so that way people know what they can show up to. For sure. But talking about teams, talking about collaborations and execution, we got to play the breakdown.
No, I like that. And
are we talking teams?
Are we picking sides?
Right.
Dang, that's a horrible reference with transition, too. Now, we got to talk about the play breakdown because on the group chat, y'all might have saw the clip where we was talking about our predictions for the rest of the year or what we should have happen. And somebody on this mic,
come on, man.
Said it.
Give it to that.
And we both were like, adamant.
The year not over for Kendrick dropping, and 2 days later,
literally
Kendrick dropped.
2 days later, man.
So we gotta break the play down.
Who you know in the camp? That's what I want to know. Who you know in the camp?
Hey, I won't reveal my sources on this camera.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I need to make sure the messages come through still.
Trying to get them Super Bowl tickets.
Can't waste it on the first
one.
Like, the rollout just
man.
So yeah, let's break down Kendrick's album drop, man, and just this whole timeline. What y'all think?
I'll go first. It totally caught me by surprise. Literally.
Where were you when Kendrick dropped?
No, for real, exactly.
That's gonna be the new thing. Like,
exactly.
Where were you?
Like you sent it to the chat, and then my other friends' chat sent it to me, and I'm like, dang, it's crazy. Can y'all jog my memory? The interview he had with what magazine was that?
Oh, the one with SZA interviewed him?
Yeah. Yes. That was like at the top of the week, maybe?
Top of the week.
Or maybe
the same car visual was in the publication.
Hey, you caught that one. I missed that.
Yeah, so that's what it was. Yeah. And it's like, wow, he really was foreshadowing what was to come, but of course nobody really knew. So I just like that it was like a silent rollout, but people say it was a surprise drop. Was it really a surprise drop?
Surprised the hell out of me.
Exactly. So I kind of, just how Kendrick moved like a thief in the night. So it was just great because that was everybody's question for the rest of the year was like, what he's going to do before Super Bowl. We knew it was probably going to be something, but what was going to be the timing? And I think dropping something like this, for one, I think he's dropping something else.
Let's all pray to God that there's something else coming.
There's signs.
But this is so solid for it to be, a lot of people, if you drop like a mixtape or something that's not really on schedule, they're like throwaways. But this sound like it really was put together in a timely manner.
A Luther Vandross sample on a throwaway is crazy.
Like, come on, now.
That's a budget.
The only thing is that he doesn't have like any big name features. No shade to the people that are featured, but that's the only thing that I'm like, I think it's something else. But please.
But I think even to that point, it's like it's solid without any big no. I mean, SZA's on there, of course. Yeah. But I feel like it's just, I don't know, man. At this point, we were even discussing in the group.
I don't know.
We were discussing in the group chat, like, what am I even going to say? One thing I'm going to say one thing I'm going to pinpoint is the interview that he had with Vogue, and he had the car, and it's called GNX, and that's what the car is. So, like, it all connected, and I like that it plays a story. It wasn't really just a surprise drop because it really did connect.
All right, what you got for your play breakdown?
Because I know you got your notes.
Before I hit the board.
Yeah.
He got some notes app worth of things.
I want to make sure I don't step on toes. I clear my co-host get space.
Thank you so much. So, Where was I when Kendrick dropped? I just love like the surprise album feel because it's just unexpected, and I think it gets the culture on the same page. I just love that energy of it all. Yeah, I saw the teaser, then the album. I was like, wait, this man just dropped an album? Like, just the energy was just so
question,
good.
You were tapped in when you saw the teaser. How?
I'm just on social media too damn much. That's all. Like, I don't have nothing on notifications. It's just like
when you saw the teaser, how I guess how soon did you see the album drop?
Literally, I looked and I was like, oh, he got a little teaser. And I was like, well, let me see if it's on Apple. No. I was looking at the teaser and then I looked on Twitter to see what people were talking about. And I'm like, wait, somebody said an album?
Oh, got
Then
you.
I immediately went to Apple Music.
Got you.
Nuts.
That's
all.
crazy.
I just don't know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, so there's like, honestly, if I had like a green screen of a creative board breakdown, like, we are gonna break the see, making fun of me. See, God got me. I don't care what y'all say. God got me. So let's break the play down because there's a few things that happen. One, let's talk about the art of execution. Like this entire, and I don't care. I'm not talking about the beef. I'm not talking about the disses itself. I'm just talking about execution from a creative with a platform and a stage. Kendrick's last 5 tweets have been Euphoria, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us, Super Bowl, GNX.
I appreciate these are the stats. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm not here for no play. Like
this is like, look, y'all are asking, y'all clearly have my name in the digital sphere where y'all want to hear what I have to say. This is it. Every time I have something to say, it's directly to a metric, right? It's moving the needle some way, shape, or form. So there's that part of it. Then there's brand partnerships as a whole. From PG Lang and Cash App, teaching financial literacy, where Kendrick got the billionaire Ray DeLeo, talking to a kid from the hood about like, hey, this is how you earn your money, and Kendrick's translating. Like, in this process, when all eyes are on him, this is the message that Kendrick wants us to care about, right? Like, yo, get ownership, get establishment. Like, he's using this platform to go crazy with this, right? So I'm loving that execution part of it then too. And then you got like the pop out, Amazon. Like, these brand deals are crazy. Yeah. And then he quotes in the rap. He says like, he said it on TV off. Ran out of luck soon as I ran up the highest metrics. Like, Kendrick's standing on every time I pop out. It's moving the needle, right?
Facts.
Shaking the culture, if you will.
Like shaping and shaking it. And then the one thing that I like that it's really doing is it's showing you the power of regional sound marketing. Like, just leaning in. You cannot tell me it's not West Coast. Like, we're talking about like the names aren't really big names, but
we
sure
are on the East. Let me clarify before they come and get my ass. Let me tell you something. It's not enough.
That's why not enough. It's not enough.
Look, don't come for me.
Couple real ones left.
Seen them. They ain't talking. They look like they about that shit over there in the West Coast. I don't know you, sir, because I'm in Virginia. Like, I don't got no beef.
You're not in the GNX at all.
I am not. All right.
So, but to that point, right? Like, he's taking a regional sound and forcing it on the outskirts of the demographic where, yo, what you gonna do?
But that's full circle. Like, I feel like hip hop kind of does that in cycles where it's like, okay, let's get back to the sound of the East Coast, the West Coast, the South. Like, so yeah, I do appreciate the cyclical.
And I think, I don't know if this is, intentional, but he just has the rep. He has the power to really just lean into the West Coast sound now after his whole career. Because I ain't gonna hold you. If his first albums were like literally sounding like this, I probably wouldn't have tapped in. I just wouldn't. Because it's the sound of it. And I think of Nipsey Hussle, because that's how it was with me when his first mixtapes came out.
I'm not a West Coast sound girl either.
Yeah, I'm not. But like, it just works now. And I think him able to bring this full circle, it's like I respect it and I'm leaning into it more because I know what his range. Yeah, his range is crazy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, like, so like just to see how he's executing, like the creative visuals, like when you talk about is there another album coming out, someone pointed out in that snippet, one, he used a song that wasn't on that album at all, but also there are 2 GNX cars in that image, so it's like to signify maybe 2 albums. Yeah, look.
I saw a couple of them too. I'm gonna ask y'all about.
Like, I mean, but
really.
And one last thing, and I'm ready for our deep dive conspiracy too. But then just the power of culture and marketing as well too, because you don't know how many. No, not even you don't know. You can see how many pages brand partners put mustard. You got the Detroit Lions did it. The NFL page
McDonald's.
did it.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks, Despicable Me did it. Like McDonald's, as you said. So we're talking about brand marketing happening off of someone's surprise album. That's cultural movement and that's metric. So you gotta break the play down. Like I understand that there's a bigger hip hop conversation that can be had, and I'm ready to jump into those conversations off camera to someone else.
No,
I ain't gonna put that on y'all. But in terms of as a creative and as a play, the way he's been executing 2024, personally, I will say Kendrick is the creative of the year to me in terms of execution. But that's just my thoughts.
And that's why I think, like, is he behind it all? I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give him.
I think it's the brand. I think it's the Kendrick
Lane.
brand. Like as he talks about in a lot of his songs, where at one point J Rock was everybody's putting their like behind the engine of J Rock.
Yeah.
Like there is a team behind the engine of Kendrick Lamar. That because you got Dave Free, you got I know
and Dave Free. That's the name we cannot skip over.
Yeah,
that man
for sure.
is very smart.
And wears a lot of hats. A lot of hats.
1000%.
And I think that's the guy.
Yeah.
That we
sure.
should probably be deep diving on. We'll circle back
But
once we get our info.
even like you just thinking like standing on business, like even when Drake and Kendrick had the beef going on and Drake dropped the Heart Part 6, Kendrick said, "Oh, I'm gonna drop Heart Part 6." He dropped it because if you do searches, they're gonna come up. But he stood on business. This is still his thing. I'm gonna just drop the to make it another song. And is he? Come on now.
No. Let's step
It's
on
no
that
intimidation.
for 1 second too.
It's no intimidation.
Not only is that so dope because Kendrick now has the only version that's on streaming platforms. You can't hear Drake's version. But on top of that, on the Heart Part 6, this version, Kendrick does an ode to his entire journey.
Right.
Like from TDE to Dave Free to now where he is. So to take this Beef Search song and now make it the start point for people to learn what you've been through.
No, facts.
Come on, man.
You just changed the whole trajectory.
Again, that's why it is a lot of people, because even Cornell Miller over at in Kendrick's camp does videos they've been going crazy. That camp is deep with some dope people. But I will say they seem to all follow Kendrick's mind.
Gotcha.
And what's executed. So yeah, that's the top play.
No, facts.
But with that said, any other thoughts on the predictions? Come on, now that we're here with predictions.
Back to the prediction of what's gonna happen post Super Bowl.
It's a tour.
Question.
I hope it's something else.
Are you disappointed if this is the album?
Disappointed? No.
That's a good question.
Anticipating something still, yes. I don't think I would be like, damn, I was wrong, probably.
Damn,
I was wrong again.
That's a really good question because, I guess I am listening to it with the idea that more will follow up. Because to your point,
I think we're just being greedy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I'm personally good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there
because
was never...
that's being greedy. It is. Come on now.
Damn, I just put out 12 songs.
On top of all the songs you gave us in the summer.
Right. For the free.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
and I think it was executed perfectly. So anything else is a cherry on
not
top.
enough.
Oh man, I like that. Yeah, I won't be greedy. I appreciate what we got. If nothing
because that
else,
man was ducked off for a very long time. So
hey man,
thank you, sir.
He got a Super Bowl coming up.
Some creative boy rap. Thank you.
We ain't gonna hear from him for a decade after this. But with that said, it's time for rate, recommend, resource.
Yes, sir.
I love when we do the burn.
Let's kick this off with a rate. If those who may not be familiar, and we can actually pull. Oh, we already saw the video, right? We don't need to pull it up here.
Yeah, we're good.
Cenat, I want to say properly. Cenat.
That's it.
He has just done his Mafiathon too. And for those who aren't aware, it is a stream for the entire month of November, 24/7 streaming. You see him sleep, all these things, interact with peers, bring on different people. He announced it October 30th, came out, stop in November. So first off, what are y'all thoughts? Mafiathon 2.
I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't know you know, you see the clips of Cenat when he's on streaming and things, but I never actually went to watch it. You know, you see the viral clips. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But me just watching somebody, I'm like, that ain't me. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I did catch when SZA and Lizzo was on there, and the whole thing. Well, let me back up.
Take it back.
The intro for the Mafiathon, I thought was like 10 out of 10. He was in the therapy session with Kim Kardashian, and just the way that they played it off, it's like, this is something I'm interested in. You know what I mean? Because for me, being new, it's the unknown. Oh, dang, what is this really going to be? But fast forwarding to the, you know, parts of it that I did see, I thought the Lizzo and SZA scene when they pulled up was just perfect because it really humanized them. And I think it's one thing to, you know these celebrities and you see them through their socials and you see them perform. You really don't know who they are. Yeah. And of course they're still on camera, so please take everything as entertainment. Like, it's all entertainment. Yeah. But it really was like they were regular people.
Chilling,
they can show all personality.
Yes, like Lizzo, funny. Like, never really seen her just, you know, be herself. And I thought that was like 10 out of 10. And SZA, you know, just her personality as well, I thought it was just very authentic. And for you to bring that to the world to see, it's like a whole different unveiling that you're seeing from these celebrities. So the way that he conducts it, it's crazy, man. Like 10 out of 10. We're not rating. I'm sorry. We're not rating yet. But I mean, he did his thing.
He did his big one. He did his
thing with that one.
Cenat, I got hip, or I started deep diving more so on like, what is this young man really doing when he did the Kevin Hart? When Kevin Hart came on there, and he started getting more big names, and I'm like, okay, maybe I missed the train, or maybe I'm just the millennial for real, where streaming is just odd to me. Like, I think I don't know if y'all ever seen the Truman Show with Jim Carrey.
I don't think.
All right, so Jim Carrey was in the Truman Show. It came out maybe in the 90s, pretty sure it did. But he played a character that was born he was born on set.
Oh, okay.
So basically, like, his entire reality was actors.
Gotcha.
His whole city was actors. Gotcha. Like, and everything was like ad placements. His wife was like running ads for like cereal boxes. It's crazy. And when I see things like streaming for 24 hours, that's what I think about.
Got you. Okay.
So streaming is interesting to me, that anybody would want to see somebody eat, sleep, breathe shit all day. It's like, y'all are really into that, but that's where we are in reality. But then as a creative, I tap in and I watch Cenat, and I'm like, this man is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because if you could have people, I don't even know how many subscribers or how many people at a time are watching this man, but the things that he can, like the creative, like the fun, I just love the black boy joy too. Like, every time I tap in, these men are just having the time of their lives. They're backflipping with Chris Brown. Like, I just love like the energy of it. And then when you start thinking about the money that can come from it, that's just a whole nother conversation. But yeah, that young man is onto something, and streaming is the future. I think we talk about
streaming is now.
Yeah, streaming is now. Streaming, streaming is next level, and we should all be hip to that. But that's another conversation.
Yo, you know, it's so funny. I mean, like journey shit, right? Like, because I think about when we did the 75th episode of Cooking a Late Night, and we tried to do it on Twitch, but no one was really familiar. So he's like, let's just move it, right? And it shows, one, you got to lean into where, like, the new territory, even if others aren't familiar. Sure. So shout outs to Kai. Like, he's, first and foremost, right? Like, Kai, what he's doing with his platform is amazing. Like, you see the production level of the promo with Kim K, of course. But, like, I'm watching the stream, and I'm seeing, like, these people with the cameras, like, how he has the chat up in each room, like, how he has to be engaged in all of these facets of his life. And yet, like, what he's also doing with it. So, like, bringing on, like, the NPC Miles Morales. I know Spider-Man. But bringing him on, like, you know, now letting other people get spotlight from this too. There was the young woman Caitlin CC, who's been streaming for the past 3 years.
Yes,
like 3 years straight. She has not stopped streaming for 3 years straight, and she was just unknown.
Yeah.
He learned about it while doing the Mafiathon and brought her on. Now she's getting subscribers. So, like, what he's doing with his platform is dope. And then the story he's telling, too. Like, he brought on iCarly, gave her credit as the first streamer. Like, that is genius. And to Law's point, you're bringing on all of these stars who are now actually having a setting where they can show a personality, like a Rhapsody in a Basement, or like one of those, just sketch shows where you can come in and be yourself. So that is amazing. And the goal was 320,000 subs for the record.
Oh, isn't he like 500 something now?
Yeah,
he's almost at. He might be at 600.
He's at. Last night when I looked, he was at 530, which translates to $3.1 million a month. That young man, so if we're giving a rate for what the Mafiathon did, and I think he also showed a lot of his own personality, like the opportunities and wherever he wants to do are going to be there.
I mean, he's already on commercials and whatnot. Yeah, so yeah, he's plugged.
And like brand placement, like you got a T-Mobile ATM machine in the back of his main screen. Like you're seeing brands integrate with someone's day-to-day
And it's not
life.
even like, I think he's doing a great job of protecting it, because from what I can tell, it's not overrun as it could be. Like they could be running ads like crazy on that mainstream.
For sure.
But from what I noticed, it seems very still organic. And just a nugget that I think is dope. Is it AMP or AMP?
AMP.
Yeah. I think that is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
That whole like collective of everybody, like, all right, we're all streamers, we're all trying to do this. Let's get a house and live together and stream together for the rest of our lives. I think that's beautiful.
No, that's crazy. Honestly, so I mean, I guess y'all want to throw some numbers on it for what you giving what you rating the Mafiathon? Law dropped his.
Yeah, I'm gonna get.
Is it another 10?
It's a 10 for me for two things. The things I'm seeing hasn't been done before. The numbers that he's reaching has never been done before. He's breaking records. What else could I want? Could I see? You know what I mean?
10 out of 10 from Ligg as well. And I think we need like a Hall of Fame for 10 out of 10 rates. But yeah, that Mafiathon, very, very interesting concept. And I can't wait to see what else is from this young man.
Yeah, and y'all only 10. Yep.
Exactly.
Non-negotiable.
So question. I do have a question for y'all in terms of like the entire setup for the Mafiathon, the streaming.
It's creepy.
Exactly. With it being entertaining, do you think he's being himself, or do you think it's acting?
I think he has been streaming. I forgot. It's like a
He's been doing this for a while.
Yeah, like his mom said, he would come home from school and stream every day. Like I think he's straight up, and I think a lot of young people that stream, they're not pretending. Like they are. I don't even think it's the way that you. That
makes it much more easy and manageable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you're also, I think that comes also from a place of, and shout outs to his mom for being able to be in a position where he's able to do that at an early age and find
accepting
his way.
that.
Like,
a lot of people would be like, get off that.
Get off that video.
Yeah.
No,
like, you know what I mean? And to your point, like, like shout outs to her, shout outs to everything that he's done, because even at this point, he can probably think, okay, there's some celebrity where I can't, like, you've seen them mistakes in real time too. Like, I can't do all of this anymore. I got to switch up how this looks. So, I think he's evolved, and I mean, he's early in his career.
Yeah,
too,
for sure.
So
I also like how his connection with the chat. Like the few things that I have seen, it's like chat is a whole.
It is. It's a thing.
It's a person,
and he identifies. Yeah, he talks to them.
Yeah, and I think more creatives, we need to take notice of that too. Like how you communicate and bring your audience in with you on your creative things is very, very important. Yeah.
So chat, let's see.
Chat.
I mean, like chat, W's,
right?
But no, I think it's 100%. I think people need to get familiar with digital being real life too. For like a lot of people, like you gotta engage with them the same. So hey, I'm glad I brought a solid 10 to the
good job
table.
with your
Man, come on now.
Following that up, I can only take it another level with what we recommended. And today, we got Noochie's Front Porch, freestyle. So for those who aren't familiar, Noochie's an artist out of the DMV who has a Front Porch freestyle series, been killing it. Some consider it to be like a tiny desk, but a little more cultural.
I think it's its own thing.
But and that's against the rules of comparing. But it is its own platform that has artists from the Locks. It's had, I mean, who's some people that you guys seen?
Corday, Robin Thicke.
I'm about to say Robin Thicke.
Yeah, like it's
TCB.
been going crazy. So he's also recently just did a Fox Soul where they're going to be re-airing some of the episodes that he put on his YouTube. So I want to just talk, like, what recommend do we have for him and his platform as far as recommendations or things that they can consider? Because I think you're already killing it, but I got some thoughts.
That's how I feel. It's one of those things where for this particular recommendation, I've been fortunate enough to be behind the scenes in the space.
Flex.
Now.
Hey,
Flex.
you gotta network. You gotta know good
Sometimes
people.
you gotta pop out and show.
So and being behind the scenes, you just know like it's a family. Like these
Yeah.
people are people that he trusts to be in the space and to execute as creatives. So it's one of those things where I'm like, it feels weird to recommend anything because it's so organic and it feels like whatever's next is something that comes from that creative space.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the energy there is crazy. Am I recommending? Am I jumping into a recommend?
So I mean, if you have something,
Yeah, if you have one.
The only thing about the Fox Soul thing, I would have loved to see it like streaming live, coming off the back of what we just talked about with Kai
Instead of
Cenat.
re-airing?
Yeah, instead of
Okay.
re-airing. But they have such like high quality content that it makes sense to just re-air it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, I would have loved to see, and maybe that's the next reiteration of it is like, oh, we're doing this live, and maybe it's like a festival where it's different artists. But yeah.
I think one thing I would recommend, depending on the trajectory where they want to take it, I think Front Porch is such a universal cultural thing for our culture. It would be cool if it was taken on the road to different cities.
Ooh.
So if you were able to do that, you could have the local talent, have spotlight, but then you can also have the big name artists pop up too. So like, say you went to Memphis Front Porch and you got Moneybag or you got
Glow.
Yeah, you got Glow, but then you got somebody smaller that's on there as well. So you tapping into both kind of networks. So I think that would be cool because just the Front Porch, like everybody know he off the porch, or I stayed on the porch when I was younger. So if you did that to all different cities, I thought that would be really cool.
That is pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. Man, for me, like I said, I'm close to the. It's not too much to recommend. Whatever their team comes up with, I'm interested to see. But some things that popped into my mind just externally are like, I think it's time to own the audience more. Like move the community to like a Patreon with like exclusive behind the scenes of things that they have going on, especially with such a big team behind it. Like you can start to let those kind of creators get a little bit of bread off of some of those buy-in things. And one more element I would add aside from owning a community or platform, what that looks like would be a Front Porch playlist, like something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a
that
good one.
like is just easily shareable, gets people familiar, and kind of can live beyond it. Even if you do like mixtape installments of Front Porch as playlists, I think those are a
So
direction.
are you saying like the live version of that, or are you saying like putting on like MC Light was on there, like making a playlist of her music, or are you saying the direct audio?
I think the live would be fire because I think you actually have ownership of that version of it because of how it's created. Like it is really there, so you can probably monetize it a little bit more. But
sounds like bread.
That sounds like a way to do the live, and then a light lift could be a spotlight of the artist for sure. But I think if you take the live and upload those audio, especially what we're seeing right now with mixtapes coming onto streaming platforms, it's a great opportunity to grow the audience and base.
Question, is that platform, they just do the music?
From what I understand,
So far,
Okay, gotcha.
As of now.
It would be cool if they had maybe a 10-minute interview with.
They do that. They have it.
Oh, they do? Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah,
I had an idea they could do like the back porch, and then it's like comedians or like poets on the back porch.
Yeah.
You like that, right?
You would recommend.
No,
Okay.
exactly.
You like that?
That's hard. All right. So before we wrap up, last thing, man, we got to get the good people some resources. If you got one, go ahead and jump
I got
off.
excited. I don't know what I'm saying. No. I have a resource, but is it really a resource? It's a social media platform. I don't know if most people are on Threads, but get on Threads. Like as a creative, I'm finding the community is on Threads. Especially with Twitter on its way out, because we don't really bang with Elon and his business practices, but. Yeah, Threads, I find like a lot of DMV content creators are looking, and YouTube creators are giving resources. So yeah, if you're creative looking to build community, the people are on Threads.
I like that. I think for me, actually, I feel like we came up with it as a collective. It's Opus Clips. Been doing YouTube real heavy. So I think it's a way to push out a lot of content without overexerting yourself. So a lot of times you have one long video, it automatically chops it up using AI, adds the captions, the aesthetic that you want. So definitely check out Opus Clips. They have a free trial too that you can do with the full version. I think it's very beneficial.
and make that version worth it.
Exactly.
For me, man, honestly, this is going to seem like one I should have been said, but Canva. As a creative who's always, just trying to put together pitches for collaboration, networking, like things that I can help build, or even graphics for social media. Canva is a platform that you it's user friendly without being too skilled in the graphics department. So, and it came a long way. Like honestly, a couple of years back when I used to first tell Law I did a Canva of an idea. He used to get sick of me. Like, don't send me that crap. Like I'll do it myself, dog. I'm a designer, and I'm nowhere near a designer. But what I can say is, you're able to manipulate a lot and create a lot of just great design in a user friendly way. So. Hey, that's my resource, man. It's another great time talking to you, creative thinkers. Hope you all enjoyed. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all.